neon glow of the city outside cast an ethereal light on the sleek surfaces of the tech company's headquarters. Holmes and Watson entered the lobby, greeted by the hum of servers and the sterile scent of innovation. The CEO, a man of Silicon Valley charm, paced anxiously. "I'm afraid we're dealing with a different breed of thief, Mr. Holmes," the CEO explained, guiding them to the heart of the building, the server room, a realm of humming machines and blinking lights. Holmes, his eyes darting around, replied, "The 21st century has given rise to a new frontier of crime, my dear Watson. Not all thieves wear masks and carry crowbars." In the virtual expanse, Holmes examined the crime scene. A digital blueprint, the culmination of years of research and development, had vanished. There were no signs of forced entry. The theft occurred without a trace, leaving only a void where the intricate lines of code once thrived. "The blueprint was our magnum opus, Holmes," the CEO lamented. "We were on the verge of revolutionizing the industry." Holmes, fingers dancing across a holographic keyboard, dove into the server logs. His eyes narrowed at the anomalies, subtle shifts in the data like ripples in a digital pond. "Curious," he muttered. "What have you found, Holmes?" asked Watson, peering over his shoulder. "An uninvited guest," Holmes replied, pointing at a timestamp. "Someone breached your servers, but not through conventional means. They manipulated the code itself." Holmes unraveled the threads of digital deception, revealing a hidden message within the encrypted server logs, a taunting signature of the culprit. "The game is afoot, Watson. This is no ordinary theft, it's a challenge." As they left the headquarters, Holmes explained his findings to Watson. "Our adversary is no novice. They've left breadcrumbs, tantalizing clues within the code. A trail that leads not to the stolen blueprint, but to something more profound." The investigation unfolded across the virtual landscape. Holmes, with Watson in tow, navigated the dark corners of the internet, decoding messages and infiltrating hidden forums. The suspects multiplied, rival tech companies seeking an edge, disgruntled employees with access, and an elusive hacking collective known only as the Binary Shadows. Days turned into nights as Holmes tirelessly pursued the digital trail. Watson, translating the technical jargon into digestible narratives, marveled at Holmes's ability to navigate a world where reality blurred with lines of code. In a climactic moment, Holmes deciphered a message leading to an encrypted meeting ground, a virtual rendezvous with the orchestrator of this digital symphony. The chapter concluded with Holmes staring at the holographic screen, determination in his eyes. "We are about to unmask the puppeteer, my dear Watson. The game is on." The encrypted message led Holmes and Watson into the labyrinth of the dark web, a place where shadows danced on the edges of anonymity. With virtual trench coats and digital magnifying glasses, they navigated through hidden forums and encrypted channels. Holmes deciphered the clues like a maestro conducting a symphony of data, revealing a rivalry between tech giants that transcended the corporate boardrooms. Each line of code and clandestine message uncovered a tapestry of betrayals, ambitions, and vendettas. The virtual landscape became a battleground. As Holmes closed in on the truth, the threat escalated. Cyber attacks on the company intensified, manifesting as cascading lines of code threatening to erase years of hard work. Watson, despite his proficiency in medicine, found himself unequipped in this digital battlefield. "It's a digital onslaught, Watson," Holmes remarked, his eyes fixated on the cascading lines of code. "Our adversary is not just after the blueprint. They want to dismantle the very foundation of this company." The tension reached its peak when Watson became a target. An encrypted message, ominous and personal, appeared on Watson's screen, a direct challenge from the unseen antagonist. "Your detective skills won't save you here, Doctor," it taunted. Holmes, his jaw set in determination, intensified the hunt. The motive behind the attacks became clearer. It was not just corporate rivalry, it was personal. An ex-employee harboring resentment, seeking revenge for perceived injustices. The chapter unfolded with a dramatic reveal, a virtual showdown in the depths of the dark web. Holmes, his silhouette flickering in the glow of digital neon, faced off against the masked digital mastermind. Lines of code danced around them like ethereal specters. The mastermind, A distorted voice echoing through the digital void reveled in the chaos they unleashed. "You're too late, Mr. Holmes. The blueprint is just the beginning. I seek the downfall of this entire industry." Holmes, calm and calculated, countered each move. The virtual duel escalated, a race against time to decrypt, deflect, and dismantle the traps set by the adversary. Watson, helpless but determined, provided moral support, his eyes fixed on the flickering screens. In a climactic moment, Holmes unraveled the digital mask, exposing the true identity of the mastermind, a disgruntled ex-employee with a vendetta against the company and a desire to bring the entire tech industry to its knees. As the virtual battlefield cleared, the stolen blueprints were recovered, and the imminent catastrophe averted. The mastermind, unmasked and defeated, faded into the digital abyss. The chapter concluded with Holmes reflecting on the fragile intersection of technology and human nature, leaving a lingering sense of the unpredictable dance between innovation and chaos. The aftermath of the virtual duel lingered in the digital air as Holmes and Watson traced the digital breadcrumbs left by the defeated mastermind. The neon glow of the city outside seemed to echo the ebb and flow of the digital currents they had navigated. Holmes, his gaze steady, declared, "It's time to unmask our adversary, Watson, the puppeteer who sought to orchestrate chaos within the very fabric of the tech industry." The investigation led them to a seemingly ordinary apartment, its windows reflecting the city's shimmering lights. Yet within this unassuming space, the digital mastermind had operated, orchestrating a symphony of deception and revenge. As Holmes and Watson entered, the room felt like a sanctuary of secrets. Computers hummed softly and screens displayed lines of code that seemed to pulsate with a life of their own. The air crackled with the residue of virtual battles fought and won. A figure emerged from the shadows, a disgruntled ex-employee, once an integral part of the company's innovation engine. His eyes bore the fire of resentment, and his voice echoed with the bitter notes of betrayal. "You thought you could discard me like obsolete technology," he sneered, revealing a face twisted by a mixture of anger and desperation. "But I had the power to bring your ivory tower crumbling down." Holmes, calm and composed, engaged the ex-employee in a verbal duel. The motive spilled forth, a perceived injustice, a betrayal of trust, and a desire for revenge. The stolen blueprint was not just a means to disrupt the company, it was a tool to settle personal scores. The confrontation intensified as Holmes presented the evidence, a digital trail of deceit, encrypted messages that unraveled the story of betrayal. The ex-employee, cornered by the weight of his actions, confessed to the digital crimes that nearly brought an entire industry to its knees. The resolution unfolded with Holmes ensuring the arrest of the disgruntled mastermind. As the handcuffs clicked into place, the virtual battlefield transformed into a courtroom, where the digital evidence became the prosecutor, laying bare the intentions and consequences of the crime. The stolen blueprints were returned to their rightful place, the company's reputation slowly mending in the wake of the cyberstorm. Yet, as the city outside continued its nocturnal rhythm, Holmes reflected on the delicate balance between innovation and the human psyche. "Technology, my dear Watson, is a double-edged sword," Holmes mused. "It can elevate us to new heights of progress, but in the wrong hands, it becomes a weapon of chaos." The chapter concluded with Holmes and Watson leaving the apartment, the neon glow of the city casting long shadows behind them. The case of the vanishing blueprint was closed, but the echoes of the digital duel lingered, a reminder that even in the virtual realm, the human element remained as unpredictable and enigmatic as ever. As they stepped into the night, Holmes whispered, "The game is never truly over, Watson. It merely evolves."